Today we're going to be talking about Charlie Morgan, the man who over the last couple years has taken over the coaching and info space. Most people have seen his ads, most people have seen him talk about client acquisition, most people have watched his YouTube videos, but what most people don't know is he's actually running this hidden strategy behind the scenes that is fueling his entire ecosystem, and that has been a huge part of the growth that we've seen over the last couple years. The strategy that I'm referring to is his in-person events, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in today's video. So just to give you guys a lay of the land for Charlie Morgan, or of Charlie Morgan, depending on how familiar you are, you might know this, you might not, but at the very beginning of his value ladder, we have the Imperium Academy, which is free, has 41,000 members on it. It's hosted on School. I actually haven't looked into this too much, but I've heard really good things about it. That's at the bottom of his value ladder. Up next is Easy Grow, and I actually bought Easy Grow. Me and my business partner bought it back in 2024 to learn more about client acquisition, and we were really pleased with the program. This has nothing to do with Charlie, like no affiliate links or anything like that, but it was great. I actually had a good time. I learned a lot from him. I thought it was a very good, well-constructed program. I got more value out of it than I had gotten out of most coaching programs, so couldn't speak highly enough of Easy Grow and Charlie Morgan's team. At the time, it was $9,800. I don't know what he's charging now. I know the value ladder looks a little different, but this is what it was back in 2024. Then we have Acquisition Nirvana, which is one step higher than Easy Grow, so you can see you just keep ascending up the value ladder. Then finally, we have High Ticket Heaven, which is his high ticket mastermind, and that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. So jumping over here onto his actual school page for High Ticket Heaven, you can see that most of the value that he's leading with, that he's showing pictures of, is the events. These are people getting together in a room for his mastermind, and this is the biggest value driver for his High Ticket Heaven program. We talked to his team a few times about what it would look like to join the program and just to hear more about it, and most of the time they leaned very heavily into the events, because yeah, you get other stuff, you get more course content, you get access to the team in the school community, maybe some more resources and frameworks, but at this point, when you're at this point in business, I think this is for people that are trying to scale. Yeah, he says right here, scale to 7, multi-7 or 8 figures in income. More information doesn't really do it for you. This is where being in the room, proximity, hearing from other people that are at the level that you are trying to get to, being in those kinds of rooms is the most valuable thing you can do at this point, and that's why he has structured this program that way. But why is Charlie hosting in-person events? Why doesn't he just do virtual events? Why doesn't he just do the community? Why are events a part of his high-ticket program? Well, the first thing is authority and social proof. So we've talked about this before. It's not our first time in this category, that it's just a natural thing for humans to associate people that run events, people that speak on stages, people that are running rooms. Like even coming here, looking at these pictures, you see Charlie leading this event, you see all these people that have come together for this program. That makes you think of Charlie as an authority. Whether you do it consciously or subconsciously, you immediately associate Charlie Morgan with authority and social proof because he's leading rooms, he's leading events. That's something that you just can't really fake. You know, you can do whatever you want online, you can make whatever claims you want, you can host whatever virtual event you want and like dump a bunch of money into getting free traffic there. But what you can't do is fake an in-person event. I mean, you could, but it'd be pretty hard. So the number one reason why Charlie is hosting these in-person events is an authority social proof play. Up next is just great positioning. And when I talk about positioning, I mean both his brand himself and as well as the program. The way this mastermind is positioned is it's like the go-to room, like the place you want to be if you're transitioning out of like an agency service business and you want to go into info, or you're already selling info and you want to scale that. It's kind of the place you want to be, and that's fantastic positioning. And also I can say this from direct experience, being a part of Charlie Morgan's ecosystem, is this program is positioned at the very top. So this is what most people are gunning for. You know, when you join, I don't know about Imperium Academy, but because I didn't join that. I think he released this just like a couple months ago around the holidays. But Easy Grow, for example, a lot of people wanted to get to High Ticket Heaven and wanted to get to that mastermind because of all the people that were in that room, the people that were absolutely crushing it. Those were like his best students, and everybody wanted to be his best students. So everyone was like, yeah, I want to get to High Ticket Heaven. This is the end game. This is where I want to go. It's like this inner circle that you can only reach once you've gotten results from these two programs, which is just fantastic positioning. It's also a community play. Obviously, his community is very strong in this High Ticket Heaven program. If people are going together for 3 to 4 events per year, having a strong community of people that will back you up, people that believe in you, people that think that what you're doing is good, having a community is very high leverage in 2026. And something that's very interesting is the way that it fuels his social media. So jumping over here onto his Instagram page, you can see, boom, like event picture. This is him speaking at his mastermind. Boom, speaking at his mastermind. speaking at his mastermind, or actually this actually looks like it might be like a executive offsite, but in front of a room, leading people, standing up, these people are sitting down, authority play. Like when you look at this, you immediately think of authority. Look, at his mastermind, another picture at his mastermind. Then if you go back, I'm going to see there was at one point where he was dumping, here's another picture of his mastermind. Let's jump over into his reels real quick. Look, there's a reel from his mastermind. You get the point. This is what we always encourage our clients to do. It's one of the most powerful results you get from hosting events is you get an infinite amount of content, and that content immediately makes you look like an authority because you're leading an event. It's fantastic positioning. It already satisfies that social proof itch that people are looking for. And also it builds more trust. If somebody sees you and you're hosting an event and you're in front of a room and you're teaching people and people are asking questions and it's obvious you know what you're talking about, again, subconsciously or consciously, that's going to build more trust with the people that are viewing the content. But one of the best ways to maximize the direct and indirect revenue you see from hosting in-person events is to capture as much content as possible and then dump it onto your social medias. Post it on YouTube, post it on Instagram, post it on X, post it on LinkedIn. Event content is so valuable, and then it just saves you a bunch of time as well, because if you get 3 to 6 months worth of content at your event, then you don't really have to worry about making as much content in the next 3 to 6 months because you have so much event content. So it just makes your life way easier. It also generates content for Easy Grow and Acquisition Nirvana. When I was inside of the program, he would post some of the mastermind recordings in the program up here at Easy Grow, and it was actually super valuable. I learned a lot from watching those, and it made Easy Grow way more valuable. And that's actually a really cool selling point for Easy Grow, is like if someone's thinking about the high ticket heaven mastermind but they can't quite afford it, it's like, well, hey, in Easy Grow you actually get recordings from the event, so maybe you start there and then you can work up to high ticket heaven. So the leveraging of the content is a really smart play by the Easy Grow team. It also allows him to stay up to date on what's working in his industry and what's working best for his students. So this mastermind isn't just for Charlie Morgan's students, it's for him as well. He gets to get all these people in the room together and they get to talk about what's working with client acquisition, what's working with info, what's working with ads, what's working with funnels. They get to think tank all these things, and that gives Charlie more material to dump into his other programs so that he can stay up to date on how things are working. And obviously, Imperium, I think his whole company is called Imperium Acquisition. They know what they're doing. Like their business is really smart because they sell client acquisition, and then they use their client acquisition systems to sell that client acquisition. So they get to constantly prove the concepts that they're working with, but it doesn't hurt to be in the room with 100 other people that are also in the same industry, hearing what's working for them, just so he can validate and make sure that the content inside of his other programs is legit and up to date. I already hinted at this, but it gives everyone something to chase, which really helps with ascension and lifetime value. So when I entered in at Easy Grow, this was the base product when I joined. Now he has Imperium Academy, but it was definitely a thing that you wanted to reach high ticket heaven, and it would cause people to stay inside of the programs longer. And maybe you're in Easy Grow, you start getting some results, then you ascend up into Acquisition Nirvana, and then you start getting results with Acquisition Nirvana, and you want to ascend up into high ticket heaven. So it always gives you another layer. Back when I first joined, I believe it was just Easy Grow, so there wasn't really anywhere to go. Like once you got results with Easy Grow, it was like, okay, we can just bounce and go do something else, maybe join another mastermind. But then he introduced the high ticket heaven. I think back then it was actually called the Imperium Mastermind, but this got introduced like 4 or 5 months into our time in Easy Grow, and it completely changed the ecosystem because now there was somewhere else to go. It was like, okay, well, I've been in Easy Grow for a year. I don't really want to leave now because I want to get to high ticket heaven. So I'm going to try and get the best results possible just so I can be in that mastermind because it looked really cool. And the way he introduced it, positioned it, and talked about it, it was like this exclusive, elusive, kind of vague mastermind that seemed like it was just a bunch of ballers in the room. So it was definitely an ascension and lifetime value play as well. And then I also hinted at this at the beginning of the video, but the mastermind, the in-person events aspect, is the main value prop for his 20 to 30K high ticket program. That's what I think it is. I'm pretty sure when we inquired on it, it was around 30 grand to be a part of this for a year. That could have changed. Like I said, he's introduced new products, changed the value ladder. So I bet around 20 to 30K. That's usually industry standard for a 3 events per year high ticket program. It's the main value prop. So if you look here, there's already 102 people in there. So if you just do the quick math of 100 people paying $30,000, that's $3 million just from this cohort. And this is not the first time he's been running this. I've seen this number go up and down quite a few times. So he's probably generated, multi-7, even probably 8 figures at this point from this program, with the main value driver being a high ticket program. And that's one thing that I want to make clear in this video is if you just attach events to your high ticket offer, you can charge way more for it. And it's also just so much more valuable for the people inside of the program because of that proximity, getting in the room with people, people, hearing stories, hearing what's working for others. Like, yeah, courses and community can be valuable for beginners and people in the beginning phase, but if you want to work with higher caliber clients and you want to give them the best results possible and provide just the best experience for them, having an event attached to your high ticket program or just having a mastermind is an amazing play for both you and your clients. Just like I showed you, the direct revenue is multi-7, probably even 8 figures at this point, but the indirect revenue is multi-8 figures just because of the authority, the social proof, the trust, the positioning, the community play, the social media content, the content for Easy Grow and Acquisition Nirvana. Most of the stuff that we've talked about in this video is an indirect result from the event, but that stuff is equally as valuable. And that's what we have to work with our clients on all the time is, yeah, we want to make money from the event itself. Like, we want the event to see a healthy ROI. We always walk our clients through the indirect results you see from events. And Charlie is not a man who just does things randomly. Whenever he does something, it's very intentional. At least that's what I've gathered at this point after following him for a few years. So I know that he understands how all this stuff works. He understands the positioning. He understands the authority that comes along with it. He understands the community. He understands the proximity of being in the room with his best students. He understands the revenue that is generated from these events. So he's not doing this just because, he's trying something out or it's random. Like, it's calculated, and he understands what this does for his ecosystem and how it fuels his growth. All right, so that is Charlie Morgan's 7-figure in-person event strategy. If you run a high-ticket coaching business or an info business, or you run your own community, maybe on School or maybe on WAP, and you're looking to introduce events into your ecosystem like Charlie Morgan did, make sure you click the link down below in our description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.